Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Happy Sunday. I hope you all had a great weekend. Whew. Y'all, I've been watching the comments while I wait for the intro to be over, and y'all are having the weather like I'm having. Now listen, I know people are like, "Oh, but you live in Florida, it's supposed to be hot." Yeah, there are parts of Florida where it's like ridiculously hot, okay? Central Florida, way South Florida, but where I am, we get to like 90, maybe 91. Let me just say this heat has been disrespectfully hot. I don't appreciate it. I am not a fan. No me gusta. It's finally cooling off. It's now 85 here. I don't even know if that's right. Let me look again. Well, that was 9 hours ago. I highly doubt that was right. Aw, thank you, Carol. I appreciate that, babe. Carol freaking Claus. You're the best. Thank you so much. Oh, God. Like the heat, it's not even that it's so hot. It's just actually been really extra super muggy. And I don't appreciate it. Also, I want to welcome Connie. Thank you for joining memberships. I appreciate that. Welcome to the Kookaloos. All right. So tonight we're going to discuss the case of Natalia Grace Barnett. Okay. And this case kind of was making headlines back in about 2019, when it was going on. But then there were some other cases that just absolutely took over. And also, there was a gag order issued by the judge when the criminal charges were filed. And so, not initially, but eventually. And so then what happened was everybody had to be quiet about it and they couldn't talk about it. Yes. Thank you, Allie. Disrespectful. Hot and disrespectful. Whew, heat too much. And I even kind of had forgotten about it. And then I saw it on HBO Max. And I was like, oh, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it. So, of course, I watched it. Now I've watched it a couple of times because I wanted to cover it once I watched it the first time. And before we get into that, we are going to have two sponsors tonight. Are y'all ready? All right. Here is a word from our first sponsor.
And Kai, when you're on Jen Lou's channel, what do you do with the like button?
Smash, smash, smash! Yeah.
Oh, wait. Hold on a minute. I think I have to fix it. Hold on. I don't think I added the second one. Oh, maybe I did. Let me see. This feels like the wrong one. So I might have to go back and upload it again. Give me just a second because I made a whole little thing. Here it is. Are y'all ready? Okay, here we go.
She's abusive. I couldn't fucking stand up to that woman.
Right. So basically, if you haven't seen it, it's literally like that throughout the whole movie, the whole documentary, the docuseries. It's like six parts. Okay. And I was thinking to myself, all right, well, here's the deal. It's on HBO Max, right? So I'm thinking they're going to say it. They're going to mention it all. There's not going to be any bleeps. It's going to be like the whole, for grownups, all the things, right? No. I guess I had missed the alert that if you have Discovery Plus, you also have HBO Max. I don't know, but it actually came out on Discovery Plus on the ID channel. And there is a follow-up. So there's a trailer, which I cannot play I can, but I have to fix it before I can play it because I don't want to get like I got a copyright claim on the other channel when I played you guys that Saturday Night Live skit. Yeah. Not even a monetized channel, barely got a community tab, and here comes NBC. Can't play that. You can't play that. So rude. Anywho, so that really is the movie or the docuseries in a nutshell. Michael Barnett is the most extra man for no reason. No reason at all. There's no reason for him to be doing 98% of the things that he does in this docuseries. And what I liked about the docuseries is that essentially they show some interviews from 2019. Oh, thank you, Carol Claus, for gifting memberships. Christy, you got it. Congratulations. So they have interviews of him from 2019, and then they have interviews that are current and like from 2022. And he is extra the entire time. Okay. But there is a huge difference in the level of extra between 2019 and 2022. Okay. And he just gets even more extra. Like you think when you're watching him in 2019, well, this guy could not be more extra, but you would be wrong because he gets extra, and it's obnoxious and it's disingenuous. Frankly, that's how it comes across. Michael, if you can hear me, email me and we can discuss this. Because it was terrible, sir. You came off disingenuous and frankly unbelievable. So anyway, there is a trailer out and it is on YouTube. Just Google it. Google Natalia or search Natalia Grace, and she's going to be in the follow-up, and it says end of summer. So most people, I feel like they usually put out trailers like a month before they're going to show them. And Natalia's, or the first part of it where it's all Michael's story really, and a little bit from their oldest son. Anyway, that came out like May 23rd. So I feel like it'll probably come out sometime in July, probably maybe end of July. But anyway, she's going to give her side of the story, which I'm interested in. Also, if you want to, and I cannot play this because Dr. Phil is a copyright claimer too. There was an interview that Natalia gave back in 2019 to Dr. Phil, and it's available on YouTube. It's quite good. It's kind of interesting, but what I would do is I would watch the docuseries first and then watch the other stuff, just because that's how I did it. And so like, that's how you should do it too. No, just kidding. Do it however you want. The information is all going to be the same. However you watch it, you'll take it in. And I have to confess, you guys, and I was telling Crime Curious about this last night. I don't know how I feel about this case, to be quite honest with you. What I have seen is it's a very divisive case. Like, not divisive, that's not the word I'm looking for. Polarizing case. People are either on one side or the other. They're either Natalia was a child and what happened was wrongity wrong, or they're on the other side and they're like, no, she was full on the real life orphan, the end. I don't want to hear nothing you have to say, period. That's it. Right? For me, I'm somewhere in the middle, to be quite honest with you. I think that the truth is rarely ever black and white, or black. Well, how should I? That's not right. Black or white. It's gray. And I think that's exactly what the deal is with this case. After I watched it for the second time, what I'll say is that I don't know who's telling the truth, to be quite honest with you, because they all seem like lying liar faces who tell lies. I will say that let me just show you guys a little video right quick. There's no sound or anything to it. It's just a little quickie, some pictures of Natalia. And I tried to upload this a different way where I could have it play and have me talk, but I don't think that it'll let me. Let's just see. Oh, maybe I can still talk. Can y'all hear me? Hold on. Because I don't even think I can pause it, can I? Hold on, let me look. No, I can't. See, this, I don't like doing it like this, and I need to find a better way to do it. All right, hold on a minute. But these are some pictures of the family. Let me see if I can make it. No, I can't. Hold on. I wonder if I can make it loop. All right, hold on. Let me put it back on. So this first picture is the family before they adopted Natalia. That's how they were when all of this occurred. And it started out in May of 2010. All right. So, oh, you can hear? All right. So I'm just going to play this while I talk, because then there's some visuals. Okay. So in May of 2010, the Barnett family had previous to this, they were going to adopt a child from another country, and it didn't end up happening. And they were bummed about it. They had felt like they were in a good spot financially, emotionally, and all the things. And they wanted to adopt. They claim that an adoption agency in Florida reached out to them. Okay. And they wanted them to adopt this little girl, Natalia, from the Ukraine. Okay. And Michael claims, they only had 24 hours to make a decision, which right there, if he is telling the truth, that should have been a gigantic red flag. Even if it were, I just feel like that's not, you have 24 hours or to make a decision, or we're moving down the list. That just makes, it's like first come, first served. It's weird. It feels gross, and it doesn't feel correct. Like it doesn't even feel, there's something, it feels wrong and dirty. That's how it feels. It feels dirty. So they go to Florida and they adopt this child, okay, and bring her back, and they are in Florida for a minute, right, before they go, because they're actually from Indiana, okay, so they spend a little time in Florida, and Michael is the only one who agreed to do this interview or to do this docuseries with ID. So we do not hear anything from the mother. Okay. Well, hang on a minute though. I do think that I can play this one thing. Hold on. Let me find it. She did do an interview with the Daily Mail. All right. So anyway, now trouble starts almost immediately. All right. And this is a big, huge, dramatic scene. I think, let me just tell you how it played out. All right. So Michael says that Christine is giving Natalia a bath, and she screams, and she's not playing around, and it's a very serious scream, and you better get in here right now. So he goes in there right now and he sees Natalia, and they claim that Natalia had trigger warning and earmuff warning for littles. They claim that Natalia had she had pubic hair. And I'll tell you that the problem I have with this is that the way that Michael describes it is so over the top and dramatic that it does not seem believable. And the type of dwarfism that Natalia has, she would be getting like growth hormone, and that can cause hair to grow. I do not think they describe it as like full grown. That's how they put it. And I don't think that that's accurate. I think that if she had anything, it was more like some hair. Okay. And apparently at the time of the adoption, Michael and Christine were told that Natalia was 6, that her date of birth was September 4th, 2003. And the people that had adopted her first brought her back, and all that Michael and Christine could think was that they were just these horrible, awful people, but they knew nothing about why they brought her back, what the circumstances were, why it didn't work out. Okay. So after that happens, Michael and Christine claim there's a series of situations and occurrences with Natalia where they were frightened. Michael claims that there were instances of Natalia standing at the foot of their bed with a knife in their hand. She allegedly told Michael and Christine that she wanted to unalive the boys and their sons and put them under the deck in the backyard. Christine claims that this story has been told 3 different ways. Okay. Michael says that Christine says that Natalia put Pine Sol in her coffee, trying to poison her, and said very plainly, because I'm trying to unalive you. But Natalia says that really what happened is they were cleaning the house and she had the chore of dusting the furniture, and Christine's cup was on the table, the coffee table that she was trying to dust, and she moved it so that the lemon pledge wouldn't get in the coffee. So then there's another story that it's bleach. So, yeah, there's that. And, she says there's all kinds of strange, that Michael says that Natalia learned what each of the boys' favorite toys were, and she would throw them out into the street, trying to get them hit by a car. Michael said that she would fling herself out of a moving vehicle, trying to get out, to be dramatic, to cause, to get attention. At one point, they met another family who had the same type of dwarfism that Natalia has. And Michael swears up and down that when the 2 of them were side by side, Natalia looked like a grown person compared to this child. Her features looked more developed than the child that was supposed to be the same age as Natalia, and that Natalia realized this and held her cheeks in so that they wouldn't, or puffed her cheeks out to give her face a more rounded, childlike appearance, which is preposterous. I don't even think that would work. I don't know how that would even work. And so on and on and on it goes. And they try to have her admitted into a psychiatric hospital, only to be told a couple of things. One, she's diagnosed as a sociopath. And two, not only is she a sociopath, but they have to come and get her immediately because she's propositioning the men on the ward, which I find interesting because the fact of the matter is, if she were in a psychiatric hospital, she would be in the children's part of the psychiatric hospital. So how would she even be able to proposition grown men in the first place? But this docuseries has 2 or 3 people who worked at that hospital who say that, yes, she did do these things, and also she did have pubic hair. So yeah. And, so there's a lot of odd situations. So in 2010, the Children's Hospital does it, June of 2010, all right, does a bone density test. And they say Natalia was 8, okay, which would age her 2 years, okay, because they adopted her in May, and in June the results are that Natalia is age 8, okay. And all of this time, Josh, who is the oldest son of the Barnetts, is making headlines. He is incredibly intelligent and can do these, like, Einstein's theory of relativity level equations in his, and so basically they get this offer to have him go to Canada, okay? And that's in 2012. All right. So this would make Natalia 8 if they're going by the birth certificate, or 10 if they're going by the bone density. Okay. So they want to Jacob. I'm sorry. What did I say? Josh. I'm sorry, you guys. Jacob. You're right. I don't know what is wrong with my brain today, but Jacob, who is incredibly, just really, really smart. And so they're having all of these issues with Natalia, right? They're getting her admitted into psychiatric facilities and the like. The one thing they never do, though, with all of the threats and, that Natalia is going to either unalive the mom, unalive the dad, unalive her brothers, all of this, at no time do they ever involve law enforcement themselves, except for one time. And they're all of the boys are their biological children. So I'll get to the charges. Give me just a second. I got to go through this like chronologically, or I'll forget the details. So one night they get a knock at the door, and it is the police, and they have been called by a neighbor, because apparently, and this is according to Michael, this is what happened. So Christine, almost as soon as she brought Natalia home, they became adversaries almost immediately. And Christine was constantly questioning Natalia about where she lived before this, who she lived with, all these constantly. And at one point, Natalia had done something, and Christine said, well, as punishment, you no longer have a bedroom. And so she was making Natalia sleep outside, and Natalia was crying, and one of the neighbors called the police. Okay. So the police show up, and they interview Natalia, they interview Christine, they interview Michael. And according to Michael, the police officer realizes that it's not Natalia who needs protecting, it's the family that needs protecting from Natalia. So this officer does all of this research and trying to find Natalia's birth certificate from the Ukraine and all of these things. And evidently he showed Natalia a picture, the picture that came with her like packet. All right. And Natalia didn't even recognize herself. The problem is that the officer has subsequently passed away. And so there isn't really anything, there's no way to really vet or verify all of the things that Michael is claiming that the officer felt. So in 2012, what ends up so in 2000, so he tells this officer allegedly tells the family that you need to get her birth certificate adjusted. Okay. So they do. They go to court and they present evidence, and the judge, based on medical records, adjusts her birth date. So instead of her being born in 2003, all right, he adjusts her birth date to be 9/4/1989, making her, help me do the math, 21 or 22 in 2012. All right. So the Barnetts get her an apartment in the town that they live in, and she lives there for a year. They have not left to Canada yet. All right. So in this documentary, and this is the part of the docuseries that really gives me pause. Okay. Because frankly, Michael has a reason to lie because of the charges. Jacob doesn't have, he does have little incentive to exaggerate or lie, frankly, because of the charges on his mom and on his dad. And then as the documentary goes forward, we'll talk about that in a minute. But anyway, so but these neighbors have zero incentive to lie. No, you hear my fan, Patricia. They have no reason to lie. So they have zero reason to lie. And basically these neighbors that were in that first place that Natalia lived for a year. All right. So she would have been 21 in 2012. All have stories. They have stories of Natalia just coming into their homes when they weren't there, or just walking in when they were, that she just did a lot of things that made them uncomfortable, that she didn't really take care of herself, that she didn't seem to be clean, like she wasn't bathing. There's several videos, which I always thought to be odd. Michael comes over to Natalia's apartment several times and questions her because there's donuts and he didn't buy donuts for her. And it's real accusatory, and it's just odd because if everything is on the up and up, why are you recording things? I just always thought it was so odd the way that anytime they do. Give me a second and I'll just turn it down so it doesn't make that rattle. Hold on a sec. All right. So he's I just always thought it was really odd the way that he and Christine constantly recorded stuff. It just makes you feel like they're trying to cover their bases, but for what reason? There's something about it that just, it's kind of creepy, and it just makes you feel like something's not quite right there, but you can't completely put your finger on it. You know what I mean? But throughout this time, there has been contact with Adult Protective Services on Natalia's behalf. And there are a series of messages through Facebook between Christine and Michael about her calling, Natalia calling and communicating with a social worker. And so what they would do is they would either take her phone, or they would delete all of the contact information so that she could not communicate with the social worker. So this goes on for, a year. And there are some troubling stories from some of the neighbors about the way that she behaved with the children, because this was obviously there was a family that lived there who had a daughter and a son, and Natalia did not want to have anything to do with the daughter, but she was a little awkward with the son and almost inappropriate, but they stopped short of saying it that exactly. There was some uncomfortableness there. But there was another neighbor of hers who had grandchildren, and they told their grandmother that Natalia was like brushing up against them and just being inappropriate. And so eventually the lease is up at this place. Okay. And so they have to end up. Hey, Eddie, thank you for being a member. They end up moving her to a different area of Indiana. It's Tippecanoe County, Indiana. And she doesn't know anybody there, okay, including any social workers, because it's a different county, all right? So they move her into, and let me show you this. I need to figure out how to make it where where I can pause it. I guess I could have just chosen to share screen, but this last picture is where this is the last place that they had rented for her. Okay. And even if you believe that she is every bit of 22, like or 21 and then 20, this place, and they put her on the second floor. So even if you believe that she is 21, 22, all right, when all of this occurred, right? Her disability prevents her from living there safely. Okay. There's not only the stairs that lead up to the apartment, right? Once you get inside, then there's like 16 stairs that she would have had to climb to get to her own apartment. Okay. So that in and of itself was problematic for her. Aside from that, this is when the Barnetts take off to Canada. All right. Because Jacob gets this offer to teach at a college, and you know, all the things. And so they move the family in 2013 to Canada without her. All right. And there were times, um, according to some of the neighbors, that Natalia did not have electricity. And they had enrolled her at an adult education center, and you know, they felt like this was the best place for her. But the truth of the matter is, the people that lived in that neighborhood all said it was a rough area. It is a rough area, and that it would be particularly dangerous for someone like Natalia, because she just, even if she were an adult, it would be difficult because of her disabilities. And so she had limitations, physical limitations. It isn't like the apartment that she was in was set up for her and to accommodate her stature. So that part of it is incredibly cruel. And so I don't know, a couple of months into her being in this apartment on her own while they're in Canada, the Barnetts get a call, and it is from the adult education center. All right, continue, and they haven't seen Natalia in a few days, and the Barnetts are in Canada, and then they call him back and they're like, never mind, she's fine. She's living with this other family. The man's family is who she moves in with. So it is a husband and wife, and they have children of their own, and they essentially take Natalia in. And within very short order, Natalia has signed over her Social Security to Cynthia Mans, and as the payee or payer, I forget how that works on Social Security, but she would be the one that's in charge, which did not sit well with Michael. All right. Well, in 2014, Michael and Christine go through a divorce, and it is a highly contentious divorce. All right. So they go through this divorce, and then the docuseries they start showing a series of Facebook messages between Christine and Michael. Now, Michael claims that Christine abused him because she withheld marital relations from him as a means to control him. And that there was a lot of and she was highly manipulative. Thank you, Pepper, payee. So it was all, he's all dramatic and stuff. And I'm not going to, I don't know whether she was dramatic, manipulative towards her husband or not. I don't really know, because the truth of the matter is she didn't speak. And that's the problem for me. All right. So, what ends up happening is Tippecanoe County Sheriff's Department decides that Natalia was a child in 2013 and that the Barnetts abandoned her. And so they issue arrest warrants, okay, for them. And just a second, and I'll tell you what the charges are, because I just have to get to it. And it's in my notes. So give me a second. Oh, in the interim of trying to, before these charges are brought about, Tippecanoe County Sheriff's Department goes to the Ukraine and they track down the woman that is listed as Natalia's biological mother. Okay. And so they give her a buccal swab, right? They swab her cheek and they bring it back to the United States and they confirm that that is her biological mother. Okay. And that this is what bolsters the prosecution's case in believing that Natalia was a child in 2013. So they interview Michael, and Michael does tell the detective, well, as I sit here today, I think, she was, she's probably 17, I think he says 17, which would have made her 16 in 2013. I think he says like she's 17 or 18, which would have made her, 16, still a minor and not allowed to live on her own. Okay. So that anyway, the deal is this. Yes, the DNA test will prove that Natalia's mom, biological mom, is her biological mom. It doesn't necessarily prove with 100% certainty that the birth certificate that was issued, right, is true and accurate. But doing the math, for them to have aged Natalia the way that they did, it would have made her biological mother 10 when she had Natalia. But the thing of it is, Natalia is not her biological mom's only child, nor is she her first child. She has she had a daughter before she had Natalia. Natalia is the second child. And Natalia's biological mom says that she was told by the doctors that she was young and that Natalia's mom is born in 79. So in 2003, let me do the math. She would have been, hold on, let me do the math. "24 in 2003 when she had her. And, that she did, and that they didn't think that she could take care of Natalia. So she signed over her rights. She didn't want to, but she did. So, anyway, so I don't know. I feel like there is only enough wiggle room, honestly, between the pictures, the bone density, the biological mom for like a couple of years. All right. Because as it stands in 2019, Natalia would have been what, 30 something years old. Hold on. Oops. Hold on. Hold on. I did that wrong. She was born in 1989. In 2019. Yeah, she would have been 30 years old, for Pete's sake. So that makes no sense. There's no way she's 30 years old. Well, Mrs. M, I believe that the situation with the biological mother was that at 24, with this being her second child, that she was young enough to have another one, but she was single, and she was poor, and Natalia was going to require several surgeries, and that she would not have the money to get the surgeries and to provide all of the things that Natalia would need. So they put her up. Doctors said, put her up for adoption. And I think that, to be quite honest with you, the way I feel about it is this. So anyway, they charge Michael, and let me tell you what their charges were. Hold on. They charge Michael and Christine with felonies. Hang on a second. Let me look it up again. If I knew how to type, this would be a lot faster. Let's see. They were charged with neglect of a dependent causing bodily injury, neglect of a dependent causing serious bodily injury, endangering a dependent's life, abandoning or cruelly confining a dependent, and conspiracy to neglect a dependent. So that's what this is what they were charged with. This is the problem, Jujubee. This is, I would want this. Ideally, we would like to have a hospital confirmation of birth. Okay. But the problem is that, we're not going to have that. And that's just the way that it is. I don't know that, there is a way at this point for there to be any paperwork provided from the Ukraine that most people would agree is legitimate, because I've read so many comments on multiple videos where it's from the Ukraine. I mean, those things can be forged. They're not as they can. That's what I've read. That the majority of people that comment, even when they are, whether they're on Natalia, whether they believe Natalia was a child or they don't, that is the general consensus, that there is nothing that would come from the Ukraine that people would feel 100% confident in it being legitimate. I just cannot see that huge, taking her from 8 to 22 or 21. You know what I'm saying? Or from 10 to 21. There's nothing. I can see that an adoption agency, maybe aging her down a couple of years So she was really 8, but they told people that she was 6. But that, not that much. I do not think that she, hey, Melissa Jade, but I do not think that I don't think she's the real life Orphan. I'll say that much. I will say that much. So yeah, that's what I believe. So then it comes time for court. All right. And Michael petitions, his lawyers petition the court and basically get all of the evidence pertaining to Natalia's age out. So there can be no, the birth certificate from the Ukraine, the adoption records, none of that can be introduced into evidence. They're all basing it on essentially not so much that she was a child, but that she is a dependent due to her, which is why there's no child neglect. Why the statute is the neglect of a dependent, because of the fact that Natalia, while would be, according to, she had her birth certificate reissued and changed to making her an adult, but she is an adult with severe physical limitations and disabilities. And so that is why the charges are the way that they are. And subsequently, Michael was acquitted. And this is the part of the docuseries that really freaking infuriated me. There was a lot of parts, but this part in particular just really stands out to me as particularly infuriating. He goes back to the law office and he's being interviewed, and he is on the phone with, I believe it's Jacob, and relaying that it only took them an hour and a half to deliberate because they knew I was innocent. They knew I was innocent. Okay. Which was annoying. And he was so over the top and gross about it. Right. So then, they interview a juror from his trial, and they show this specific juror the adoption paperwork and all of this, right? And the juror says, if I would have known about this, I might have voted differently, which you can't really, blame. It's not their fault. So the Tippecanoe County Prosecutor's Office ends up releasing all of the things surrounding Natalia's adoption, all of the medical records, all of the bone density tests, all of those things, so that the public can see why they charged them the way that they did. Well, right after Michael ended up being acquitted, initially he was potentially going to testify against Christine, but then Christine's attorneys filed a motion to dismiss, and it was dismissed. Oh, which one? The pictures, Mo, or the actual clip? You want me to play the picture, the clips, or the pictures? Anyway, so it was just, the whole thing is like kind of foul, and I don't feel like there was justice done for anybody. The people that Natalia lives with now, at one point tried to petition. They petitioned the court to become her guardian, but they ended up dropping it and were advised to actually try to have her birth certificate amended, which hasn't worked either. So yeah, I hope that's what I think, Neat Noodle. I hope that Natalia does decide to sue the Barnett family, because she went on Dr. Phil, like I said, and Dr. Phil was actually quite impressed with not only Natalia, but also the people, the family that Natalia lives with currently, who said that, listen, we've had her all these years, and she's not done anything even remotely close to what the Barnetts said she was doing. This is what I think, Melissa. I think that I do not think that she was an adult. I do not think that she is the real life orphan. Okay. This is what I think happened. I'm just going to be blunt about this. And I talked to Shmita, who, as you guys know, is from the Canadas. And I asked her about this. And here's the deal. At the time that the Barnetts wanted to move to Canada, okay, Canada has a strict immigration policy. And one of the policies is that because of Natalia's need for surgeries and her disabilities, Canada would reject her immigration, because in their immigration policy, her situation would be would cost Canada money. It would be expensive for her to be an immigrant there, for her to immigrate there, because of the way that their healthcare system is set up. And so I think that the fact of the matter is, they looked into it. They realized that they could not bring her to Canada. And so they had her aged up. And the truth of the matter, but even going back before that, I do not believe that Christine adopted Natalia out of the goodness, kindness of her heart, because she wanted to give this child a loving, safe, stable home. Okay. I think what she did was, I think that she adopted Natalia because she had special needs, and basically she wanted to pad her resume. She had already written this book about nurturing a star, or nurturing a spark. I can't remember what the name of her, and I'm not promoting it. The book that she wrote about how, she, how she learned about autism and encouraged Jacob and all the things. It's just really a big, huge pat yourself on the back kind of a book, right? And quite honestly, that's what I think the deal was. And I think that when Natalia required more help, more work, more attention, more everything, than Christine actually wanted to give her, I think that's why they became adversaries. I think that Christine probably did do a level of coaching with Natalia, because there was a moment, or not a moment, but a incident where Natalia calls 911 on herself to say that she is stalking her neighbor, and that she's afraid that she's going to do something bad, and that she's already tried to she's going to try to burn down the apartment, et cetera, which does get law enforcement out there. And they don't even hold her for 24 hours. They release her the same night. I do think that all of that is very, very odd. I think that there is something wrong in that. But here's the other problem with that, Melissa, that I struggle with. We don't, let's be honest. How do we know that that's the way the adoption went down? We don't, because Michael is the one that's relaying this adoption story and how he was contacted, et cetera, et cetera. And let's be honest, Michael comes across just completely over the top, so over dramatic, so extra in a way that is not even remotely enjoyable. You know me, I enjoy extra people. I really do, because hello, I'm extra. And I just feel like um there's something disingenuous about that story. There's something I shouldn't say that. There's something disingenuous about Michael, and the fact of the matter is, he has been caught in a couple of lies already, more than one lie, and his credibility to me is shot. Let's just remind everybody of the extra that is Michael Barnett. Are we ready? Let's go.
She's abusive. I couldn't fucking stand up to that woman.
I mean, really, it's honestly, listen, I want y'all to know that after this, the next thing I'm going to do is upload all the clips that I have gathered up and put together a video that just essentially highlights Michael. Okay. Okay, so Melissa, there's no okay, so let me explain. This is where I got confused too. It's not actually an HBO series. For whatever, I don't know what's going on, because HBO Max has dropped the HBO and now they're just Max, and it's actually an ID network show. That's who the Docuseries. It's produced by the people who do it was shown initially on the ID channel. It's on Discovery Plus. This was confusing to me. And when I started to watch it, yes, because when I started to watch it, because I clicked on Max, I know, I think they're cahooting. Oh, yes, Mama Bear, there will be a Michael roast from me. There will be. So, because it was on Max, I felt hoodwinked when I hit play and there's beeping. I have never heard censoring on Max, on HBO, on Max, on Showtime, on Stars, on Encore, any of that. And that's when I knew. So then I go over to the Googles and I learn, son of a bitch, this is from ID. That's why everything's beeped. I was livid. We were duped. I don't know that they broke up though, Crime Curious, because like when you go to the Max app, now we're off on a tangent. I don't care. Because when you go to the Max app, all the HBO stuff is still there. So by the way, after HBO was dropped and they dropped HBO and it just became Max, Peacock took to the Twitters and said they would, as much as people would like, they will not be dropping the PEA from their name and being just cock, which I thought was hilarious. Oh, here we go. Mo knows. HBO Max is now Max after its parent company merged with Discovery, and there are big changes to the platform. Yes, exactly, Sky Flashed. I low-key, though, I'm kind of glad they didn't show it because I just Well, HBO still has good stuff. Mo in the know. Thank you, Mo. Mo, you the real MVP of this chat today. Appreciate you. So the next part that I want to go over is, are y'all ready? Have y'all braced yourselves? It's called The Curious Case of Natalia Grace. Stacy, that's the name. Listen, I don't care if that you copy pasted that, Modine. The fact of the matter is you took the time to go look and you copy pasted it. That's important. That shows determination and a willingness to help a girl out, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Can you imagine if he had been found guilty, how he would do in prison? So extra. All right, but anyway, oh, Anna, there's dirty pictures that were sent between. Okay, so Michael says that they had one shared phone in the family, which I don't think he knows how phones work. But everything that was on the phone would be automatically backed up to Dropbox. So Christine was taking naughty pictures, and they were not, all of them were not for Michael, apparently. But because she had the kids, the boys, all three of them, she got custody. He would check the Dropbox every day. Just, y'all ready? I'm going to do my dramatic reenactment. Let me take a drink. Get my palate ready. All right. I would check that Dropbox every day, just hoping for a picture or a video of my boys. And what did I get? Naughty pictures of Christine. Yup. So, yeah. Thank God they changed. Yeah, I didn't need to see that. I didn't want to see that. Yeah, I have to agree, Anna. No, neither one of them. But what I was going to tell you guys is, Allie, are you still in here? It's on both, Melissa. It's only okay. Let me just break it down for MJ. Okay. All right. There's only one documentary. It is called The Curious Case of Natalia Grace. But it's available on multiple platforms. It is available on Max. It is available on Discovery Plus. It is available on Hulu, Prime, and the YouTubes. So it's one documentary, and then there's the fall, and then there's another part to it coming out at the end of summer. The trailer for it is on YouTube, and Natalia is going to give her side. So thank you for liking the reenactment. He's super dramatic. I can't. Okay. Yeah, it's worth watching. All right. But when I was looking for stuff pertaining to this case, guess what I stumbled on? The behavior panel has analyzed Michael. And that is what I'm doing tomorrow night. Hopefully, I can get Allie and Truth Teller up here with me to do, because I know Truth Teller followed this case. And the three of us, we have not done anything together in a very long time, and I miss our little, what did I call us? I miss the triplets, and I just, so I need to reach out to Allie and to Truth Teller to see if they'll do it with me. But even if they can't do it with me, won't, whatever the deal is, I will I'm going to do it. That's what I'm going to go through tomorrow night is the behavior panels. Okay. Now, Mo, see, this is why I like you, but I find you sometiming. Now, here I am complimenting you on your tenacity. And here you go, talking about the goof troop. Rude and disrespectful. The three amigas. What's that alcohol? Trace, what is it? Trace Locas. What is it called? I had 6 episodes. I think I had 6. That's what we should call each other. That's what we should be. That drink. Four Locos. We need a 4th. Well, we're just gonna be the Tres Locos then. But the drink is. That's what I thought. 4 Locos. Who can be our 4? Crime Curious, you want to be our 4? Hey, TS News, good to see you, babe. We could. We need a 4th. We need a 4th Loco. That's what we need. All right. So that's the plan for tomorrow night. So, yes, guys. Do I have a mod in here who can share ATS's live that's happening to? I don't need a mod. Let me do this. I can do this myself. I'm a big girl. Hold on. I want to share what the frack? Here we go. I want to share her live for tomorrow. Hold on. All right. Here we go. Because I will be in there in the morning, and you guys should be there too. She's covering the Coburger tomorrow. And oh no, Sassy Pants, I just feel bad. I don't like to ask you guys to do stuff. I'd rather just do it. I feel bad. Like, I know how to copy pasta. I'm a big girl. I can do it. And I feel like you guys, the mod and everybody, you guys do so much for me. I don't like to ask. You know how I get. You're never invisible to me, Nadie Boo. Speaking of Nadie Boo, Today, Nadie was on panel on Alex Erickson's channel, and they were talking about Summer Wells. I shared the live on my community tab. If you have not seen that, you must go back and watch. It was a very, very informative, very well done live. I was so proud of Nadie and Ali both. It was fan-friggin-tastic. I know you will, Nay, but you work hard. You know, every once in a while, I can drop a link if sometimes. It was so good. You guys have got to go. If you didn't watch it and you've been following the Summer Wells case, even if you haven't been following the Summer Wells case, go watch it. It was very, very informative. It was a very well done live. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I didn't get to chat as much as I wanted to, but I really, really liked it. So I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. And I appreciate it. If you have not done so, give your girl a thumbs up on the stream. If you haven't done so already, here is the link to join memberships. If you're afraid of commitment and you want to float your gal a PayPal or a Cash App, here's that link. If you want your house to smell delicious, go over here. Code included. You did beat me. And go check out my friend Alex's channel. And I'm going to add Crime Curious and ATS and Melissa Jade. Oh, wait. Did I do? Is it Alex or Allie? I already forgot. Hold on. Oh, wait a minute. That's not the right word either. Let me try that. I think that's right. There we go. There's all the links. Those, let me tell y'all, delicious. Melissa's right. Delicious doesn't even cover how fantastic those wax melts are. They also, I'm telling you, and if you're not sure what scents you like or what scents to order, talk to Nay, because if you tell her the kind of scents you do like or even just the kind of scents you don't like, she can help you and put together a scent package that's phenomenal. Every single one she sent me as a sample, I love. There is not a single scent that she sent that I was like, ew, I don't know about this one. Every single one. I couldn't even figure out which one to use first. They last a long time. They also you know, you don't need to get 800 warmers, even if you have a huge house, because they're so pungent is not the correct word. The scents are very rich and they are long lasting. And so, yes. Nadie's wax melts are good. So good. So good. And when she sends you a package, she puts, like, you can feel that there is love and care in the packaging. She puts it together really cute. It's very personalized. It's stinking adorable, just like Nay. Hey, Rich. They're very aromaful. They're delicious. I love them. All right, you guys. So this is where I'm going to end it. But tomorrow night at the same time, I might have to do it a little early if I can get Allie and Jen to be up here, because, you know, Allie's got the kiddos and Nine's kind of, I don't know, we'll see. But be on the lookout for it. The behavior panel went over Michael's body language. I can't wait. It's the name of the docuseries is The Curious Case of Natalie Grace. Natalia. See, now I'm having trouble. The Curious Case of Natalia Grace. Yeah, here's the link, Mo, because and use my code, homie, because you get a discount. All right, so that is what is happening tomorrow night. I will see you guys all then. Everybody take care and stay safe out here on the YouTube streets and in the real streets, because you know it's scary out there. All right.